Similar triangles, and you guys know it as SOH. They're called primary trig ratios. Okay. What we're going to be focusing on for similar triangles, okay, to start, we're going to be looking at this triangle here. I'm going to create a similar triangle to it. A similar triangle is not the same size, but has to have something that is the same in them. Anyone know what that is? It doesn't have to be right angle. It has to be just the angles. Okay? So I know this is not the scale, but let's just say this is 53 degrees. This is 47 degrees. And this is 80, which doesn't really make... Oh, wait, that's right. 80. We know all the angles have to add up to 180. I'm going to say that these angles are the same. So in other words, they have to be identical in order to be a similar triangle. Now, if this is, let's say, 15, 4, and 8, this is not a true triangle. I literally just made these numbers up, so this may be an impossible triangle, but I'm just trying to show you the idea between these. Okay? And this triangle's next one here is 4. From this information, we can solve the other sides of these triangles knowing that they're similar. Because the angles in both triangles are identical, we can draw a conclusion that the sides have a relationship to each other in terms of a ratio. So we know that this side between 53 and 80 corresponds to this side here between 53 and 80. And how did I go from the larger triangle to the smaller triangle? What operation could I use? Division. Divided by exactly what? 2. Okay. So with that information, if I want to find this side, we know it corresponds here. What will I have to do to that number? Divide by 2. Oops. Anyone know what that'll give us?
7.5.
7.5. Okay. And then for the bottom, what would we get? 2. That's right. That's really all there is to similar triangles. Had we been given the smaller triangle and had to go up to the larger one, what operation would we have used? Yeah, we would have used the same scale factor, which is 2. We would have just multiplied by it instead. Okay. That's all there really is to similar triangles. Just know that the angles must be identical, and then we just use some scale factor to go between the two of them. Okay. Now, TOA. In order to use these primary trig ratios, you have to have what type of triangle? Has to be a right angle triangle. Okay? I'm going to write these two out. Sine, and we're going to say theta. Theta represents an angle is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. Okay? And that's what SOH, that gives us the O and the H. Okay? Cosine theta is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. Okay? And that HYP. That's where you get the CAH. And tangent theta, opposite over adjacent. Okay? And that's where you get the OA. So, I'm just going to make up a triangle. Let's say this is 3, 4, 5. And this angle here happens to be 60 degrees. Okay, which means this would be 30. I just want you guys for this to be able to set up a ratio. So what I mean by that is tell me what the ratio of sine 60 would be. So sine 60, which is this angle here, is equal to, what's the opposite side from here? What would be opposite of 60? 4. I want the side. So 4. And what would the hypotenuse be? 5. It's always opposite of the right angle. So that's it. I just want you to be able to set up that ratio. Sine 60 is equal to 4 over 5.
That's our quiz.
This is what your quiz pretty much could be on. So tangent 60, opposite over adjacent. Well, the opposite is still the 4. The adjacent side is 3, so it would be 4 over 3. Sorry, we have to write the 60 in here. Which then means cos 60, okay, is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. Well, the adjacent was 3. Hypotenuse 5. We got 3 over 5. What if I use the other angle? 30 degrees. Can you fit it in? Yeah. Sine 30 degrees would be what? Opposite would be?
3.
Hypotenuse would still be? Yeah. Tangent 30 would be Opposite would be? Opposite would still be 3.
4.
Yeah, and the other one, we're going to be 4. And cosine 30 gives us 4 over 5. I just want you guys to look at this relationship here. Notice that sine 60 and cos 30 give us identical ratios. Okay? Sine 30 and cos 60 give us, again, identical ratios. And tangent are just inverses of each other, depending on which one we're using. One's 4 over 3, one's 3 over 4. I just want you to be able to set up that fraction. I don't care about solving any of it, the angles, nothing like that. Just be able to set that ratio up. That's all we need to do for this quiz.